Are we live? Let me quickly check. Are we live? Yes, we're live. Let me post that on this my Instagram, and then we'll get this party started. Link. Nope. Just paste. Copy. Yeah, I should probably spend some more time preparing before these live streams, because we spend a bunch of these awkward first few minutes me still setting it up. So yeah, I think next time I'm gonna be a little more prepared and make sure that we don't spend time in these things while the stream is live. Or I don't know, is this normal for other streamers as well, to like spend the starting few minutes still getting things going before jumping into it? Or would you like me to have all of this shit already done and sorted before it? Let me know. Mhm. All right. All right, without any further ado, let's jump into the live stream. I'm gonna see if the chat is working this time. I did some things. Chat is still disabled for this live stream. Okay, that's something I don't know how to fix still. I thought I fixed it, but turns out I'm still not able to have my chat working. So I don't know. If you guys know if it's some sort of a community thing that I need to have, or do I need to pass certain amount of streaming things before I can have chat active? Live chat is disabled for this video. How do I fix that? I can't fix that apparently. Yeah, I'm not able. So I see the screen, but I'm not able to select the option to turn on live chat. So that's very weird. Anyways, let us jump in. Let me start sharing my screen. Before that, let me make sure my browsers are clean. I don't have shit open. Let me close my emails and stuff. All right, perfect. Weekends, Karthik. Let me still be big on the screen. All right. Welcome to another episode of Weekends with Karthik. So far, we have had two episodes previously, so this is the third one. So, third time is the charm, as they say. I hope my mic is performing better, but I see there are two audio mixers. There are two mics that are picking up my sound. So, is there an echo? Is this better? Now that you only hear my mic from this one. I hope it's much better. I'll have to go back and listen to the stream myself and see if you were hearing an echo for so long. But yeah, and I have to figure out the chat thing because there's no way for me to know um, how it's going otherwise. But yeah, if any of you who are watching this right now, if you are having issues with the audio or any other part of it, let me know. Yeah, it kind of sucks that I have no way to figure out if it's good or bad beforehand. Let me just see. I'm gonna keep quiet and I'm gonna just turn on the video. I'm gonna just watch my own stream for a second. Okay, I just listened to a bit of my own stream. Seems fine. So my voice was a little low, so maybe I'll try to speak closer to the mic. It's not a great mic. I just have this mic which I had purchased long back, but I think it does a better job than just the like stuff being picked up from the computer. So yeah, so let's go with that for now. So yeah, let's start fresh. A welcome to another episode of Weekends with Karthik. Um, in the previous episode, we spoke a bit about Web3. We sort of tried to understand what is Web3, what are the pros and cons about it. We sort of made this analysis of it, where we went into what was the background of it. We sort of laid down what were some of the foundations of a Web3, what are the opportunities that are available within a Web3, what are our challenges, and I added some references that we spoke about during the live stream. In this episode, I'm going to focus on NFTs, which is probably not the most important use case in Web3, but it's definitely the most fun and interesting. So my idea with these like live streams is also to sort of do things which are fun and interesting. So I will be talking about NFTs, today, sort of exploring them and unbundling them a bit ourselves to understand what are NFTs and what is all the hype about. And then I do actually want to purchase an NFT, so I will be taking you guys through the process of how to select an NFT, how to know which NFT is good. I'm not an expert, so for on a disclaimer, I'm just going to be learning all of this myself, and you are welcome to join me on the learning journey. But anything that happens on this stream is not expert advice, so do not sort of think of any of this as expert advice. Do your own research and a due diligence before you spend in any money or on any of things that you buy. With that out of the way, but yeah, so I do want to split the stream in two halves. So the first half we will spend time you're researching, understanding what is NFTs, and then we will go into making a purchase of an NFT ourselves based on the learnings that we have in the learning phase. I do have some fun things I also want to keep doing on the side. Like I bought these Harry Potter a Bertie bots every flavor of beans. For those of you who are a Potterhead, probably are aware of them. And for those of you who are not, these are supposed to be beans that are. It is a candy from the Harry Potter world, and every sort of jelly bean is supposed to have a different flavor, but you never know which flavor you're actually going to get. So it can range from stuff like mucus and stuff to strawberry and like those other nice flavors. So the joke in the movie, in the books, is that yeah, people just eat these beans, and then it's a fun game to know which flavor are they gonna get. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna be eating these beans in between as we do the streams, and I'm gonna give you a review of what are the flavors that we're getting. So stay tuned for that. I got this at randomly at an Oriental store that is near my house. So yeah, we're gonna give this a go throughout the stream as well. So before we jump into any of this, I'm gonna open a packet. And we're going to try our first bean, which is this one. It's a strawberry colored one, but looks can be deceiving. So let's go. Yeah, it's a safe one. It's like strawberry raspberry thing. It's nothing too nasty. It's pretty good actually. All right, let's buy some NFTs. We'll see how much we can buy, how much we can afford, and then we'll take it from there. But the structure of this is what is NFTs. That will be the first thing we'll explore before we go into what makes a good NFT. Like, when does the NFT become like this is the good NFT to buy? And then we'll go through the process of buying an NFT ourselves. Cool, clear. Are these all heading twos? All right. So what is an NFT? So we know where the terminology comes from, which is non-fungible tokens. But what are non-fungible tokens? So let's start with that. NFTs. I'm just gonna Google the first thing that comes when people Google NFT, and usually the Wikipedia is sort of like the place to start with when we are trying to find out about something new. So let's go with understanding what the Wikipedia definition of NFTs are. NFT, a non-fungible token, is a non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain, a form of digital ledger. Is a non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain, a form of digital ledger. So we sort of spoke about what blockchain is very briefly during the last talk. It's a new technology where stuff is stored in a block, and the information stored in there is verified by everyone. So it's very hard to spoof information. So it's a decentralized way of storing information, and a non-fungible token is like a non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain, which means once this data is stored on a decentralized blockchain, it's non-interchangeable, means it cannot be changed. NFTs can also be associated with a reproducible digital files, such as photos, videos, and audios. NFTs use a digital ledger to provide a public certificate of authenticity or a proof of ownership, but do not restrict the sharing or copying of the underlying digital files. All right, seems clear. I think that's the crux of it. NFTs, they use the blockchain to provide a certificate of authenticity or a proof of ownership. So when you own a digital file, there is in the blockchain a certificate, or like a data entry basically, that you know sort of says to everyone that you are the owner of that particular digital file. And that way anybody could go and verify whether you actually are the owner of a digital file. The ownership that NFTs confer is not legally binding, and is often used as a little more than a status symbol. All right, so this article um, is a bit critical already, but I think whatever is being said is not false. NFTs are, they don't sort of your confer, like it's not like a legally you're binding ownership, right? It's not like you don't have a legal a right to ownership of an image. So if somebody like steals it or you lose it, you cannot go to a court and be like, hey, this was something I owned which is lost, or this was something I had which somebody stole. Because of course there's a proof of ownership on the blockchain, but the courts of any of the countries don't recognize ownership of a digital file as a thing, and is often used as a little more than status symbol. The lack of interchangeability or fungibility distinguishes NFTs from blockchain cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. The lack of interchangeability, fungibility. I'm going to quickly check what fungibility means. In economics, fungibility is the property of a good or commodity whose individual units are essentially interchangeable, and each of whose part is indistinguishable from another part. For example, gold is fungible since a specified amount of pure gold is equivalent to the same amount of pure gold, whether in form of coins, ingots, or in other states. Whereas a unique item such as gold fashioned into a statue by a famous artist would not be considered fungible. Other fungible commodities include sweet crude oil, company shares, bonds, and precious metals. Currencies, fungibility refers only to equivalence and indistinguishability of each unit of commodity with other units of the same commodity, and not the exchange of one commodity to another. All right, that's actually super clear. So basically, what it's saying that a fungible something would mean that there are other things of the same thing exist, and they all have the same all a value, right? So let's talk about a currency, right? So if you have a 10 rupee note, somebody else has a 10 rupee note, they both have the same a value, they both are a 10 rupee note, which means their value is equal to 10 rupees. But if you have a 10 rupee note which has been signed by Shah Rukh Khan or Brad Pitt, like you have a 10 rupee note that has some sort of art on it, right? Then that a 10 rupees a note becomes more valuable because it's no longer value. So the value of it is no longer your 10 rupees, it has increased. So then it's no longer a fungible token because it has only one of its kind, it exists. You cannot exchange it for other things. So that's it. That's my understanding of what fungible and non-fungible means, which now makes sense when it comes to the Bitcoin sort of uh, a similarity, where they say a Bitcoin is a fungible token because if you own X amount of it of your bitcoins, the value of it is X amount of your bitcoins. Everybody who owns a bitcoin own bitcoins, and there's no, yeah, like all bitcoins are basically the same. So all the bitcoins have the same value in it. If the values of bitcoin increases, the values of all bitcoins increase. So all the tokens have the same value stored in them. But when you talk about non-fungible tokens, it says that this is one of a coin, so of a kind. There are no other similar duplicates of this exist. So that's what makes it non-fungible, because if you have an art piece, there's just one art piece that exists, right? So you can also make a multiple art pieces, but that is not the same as a currency, which is a common and that can be melted. I think the example of your melting of gold was a good one. So if you own X amount of your gold in form of your biscuits or like coins, it can all be melted and the value will be the same. But then if somebody made a very intricate statue with the gold, then that's a non-fungible token, because that statue, because of the art that has been made out of it, that's what makes it more valuable. If you melt the statue, it loses its value. So that's sort of analogy of fungible and non-fungible. Let's just read this last part of it as well, and then we'll move on. NFTs have seen some use as speculative a security and a means of money laundering. NFTs have drawn criticism with respect to energy cost and carbon footprint associated with validating blockchain transaction, as well as their frequent use in art scams. Interesting. Yeah, I think we're going a bit deep into like the pros and cons of NFTs already. So maybe let me just to try to break down what NFTs is based on my understanding of NFTs. So basically, NFTs are a digital file that has a proof of ownership that anybody can verify, right? So you have a digital file, which can be an image, it can be a video, it can be audio file, it can be a piece of code, it can be anything as long as it is a digital file. That the digital file, you can put it on the blockchain and say, hey, I own this digital file, and then it can be verified by anyone exactly if your claim is true, if you actually own the digital file. And it can also be traced back as to who else was the owner of this digital file, right? So I think that's basically what NFTs is. And the reason why it's becoming so exciting, and the reason why people are really talking about all the use cases around NFTs is it can actually be a way for a digital artist to sell their digital arts, because that's always been the case, right? If you are a painter, you can paint something awesome, there is just that one piece, and you can sell that to somebody, and they will actually literally have to purchase the piece of art for them to own it. But when it comes to a digital file, um, there is no proof of ownership. If you just have paid this artist to own the own a digital file, and that's why people were very hesitant, or people were not really interested in paying a digital artist to own a digital file, because they were like, I can just copy and save this image, anybody can copy and save this image, so I don't get any inherent value from owning the original piece of digital art from the artist themselves. And that has always been an issue. And it's not like it's a bad thing, right? Like, I think art has always been a status thing. To own pieces of art has been always a status thing, in my opinion. Like, people were purchasing like Picasso's, Da Vinci's, or Michelangelo's. All of them were being sort of all commissioned by rich patrons who wanted to own pieces of arts that were made by this artist. And that was for them a way of showing status, in that, hey, I appreciate this artist, I appreciate this artist style of art, so I will pay to own their piece of art. So that's basically what the art as a form was, because art inherently is a subjective thing. So people who were appreciative of kind of art, they would pay for that art, and that's how it would prosper. And that's what's happening with NFTs for your digital artists, right? If you're good at your Photoshop, or if you know how to make like really good at digital art, you can now sell the original copy of your digital arts to people who appreciate your kind of art, who appreciate the way you make digital designs, right? Uh, and when you sell this digital art to people, they can now show that what, like, the copy that they own is the original one. So for example, if there is a great artist who has a sold, who has made an image, and that image is what they are selling, um, and if I am the purchaser of that email of that image, now in the blockchain that a transaction has been recorded, and anybody can go and to verify that I made the purchase of this original art from the original artist. So now I am the only one who can make a claim that I own the original art piece. Of course, anybody in the world can copy that image and save it on the desktop, do whatever they want with it. I just own the image. I don't own the own copyrights or anything of that image. I just own. I just have somewhere where it says I own the image, right? There is a transaction and there is a way for people to verify it, and I would be able to claim that I own the image. That's it. Um, so that's when I can make a claim now that, hey, I own this image because I like this artist so much that I paid him X amount to buy this image from him. Okay. And anybody else who has copied the image cannot make the same claim, because then people can go and check in the blockchain and they'll see that they did not purchase this from the original artist. The guy who purchased from the original artist is me. So that's a way, and so that gives me this exclusivity, this status, saying that, hey, I am the guy who purchased it, and that's mainly what purchasing art has been about. And this is now a way to do that in a digital way, where I can also purchase a digital arts, and there's a way for me to show off to the world, if you may, that I own this piece of art. Now that's like the primary aspect of it. I think that's like the foundational aspect of it. Now if you build on top of that, and add what other things that people are doing with art, right? Like people, of course, a lot of people who are appreciative of art, they just purchase art because they are people who love art. But then there are also people who buy art for a return on their investments, right? Like you buy a painting by a Banksy, by a Picasso, by any other famous artist, in hopes that if you buy it after a few years, the value of this painting will appreciate, and then you can sell this painting at an auction, or you can to some other a patron. And that's a common thing, right? Like buying and selling of art has been a common thing. Sotheby's does these big auctions, a bunch of people do this big art auctions where the art is just sold to the highest bidder. So that's also something that people do with actual art, where they just purchased paintings, and they will wait for the value of the painting to appreciate, to increase, and then they will sell that painting to whoever is the highest bidder. So that's also what's happening with NFTs, where people are purchasing NFTs, and if they're one of the early ones to recognize a good piece of art, a collection, then they purchase it early, and as the art becomes more popular, then they go into so as it becomes more popular, and as the price of that art piece appreciates, they sell it and they make a profit. So I think that's what you have been hearing a lot of in the news about these millionaires who are just sort of starting to come off, who just bought an image of an ape, and then within 6 months it was over $1 million. So those are the kind of things that's happening. But it's nothing new, right? This kind of things have been happening in the art world, in the physical art world for the longest time. It's just that now it's happening in a digital art world as well, and it's happening in a lot more accessible way, right? Because earlier, if you needed to purchase a painting, you don't know how to purchase a painting. Like I don't know how to purchase a painting. So if I am a big fan of Banksy, right, and if I want to purchase a Banksy artwork, I don't think I have access to those auctions that are happening where Banksy art is being sold, and I don't have the money to buy Banksy art as well. And even if I had, yeah, like the money, it'll still be for me very difficult to be a participant in those auctions where I can actually bid and buy a Banksy art. But now what's happening with all of this happening digitally on this online platforms is that art is becoming more accessible. So I can sit with my computer, with my laptop, and find an artist who I like, and I can just directly purchase the artwork online. I want to sell the artwork at a later date. I can just do an auction online, and my artwork is sold online, and all of that is happening without somebody else stopping my access to be able to do such things, which is what happening in the physical art world. So I think that way it's become more accessible, and that's why you see this new young sort of millionaires becoming formed, because these now it's become accessible. So every Tom, Dick, and Harry can take part in it, and of course when you have a lot of these like new people taking part in this process, which was earlier it's sort of like inaccessible to them, you will see this shooting up of rare cases where people will make lots of your money on these things. So that's what's happening, and it's not surprising. um yeah, I'm just seeing my chat settings again because I have no idea about how the video is doing. Let me just push this here. All right. So I hope that forms a good basis of what NFTs are. Let me just write down some of my thoughts here in this, just to summarize what we've been talking about for so long. So NFTs are non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible meaning uh, their value value is not interchangeable, right? That was a term that used interchangeable. How do you spell interchangeable? Interchangeable. Um, so yeah, so if you own a piece of art, the art has that value. So it's basically a digital file whose a digital file, the ownership, a digital file whose ownership can be verified by anyone. Uh, because it's registered on a digital ledger called the blockchain. So blockchain is just a digital a ledger. It's like a registry of who owns what, who has a sold, like whom to what. So basically, it's a big ass directory, and that's basically what NFTs become. Where it's a so when you own a digital file, anybody could see on that open a registry who owns it, from whom did you buy it, at what price did you buy it. All of that can be done very easily, and it's very decentralized. So nobody owns these like blockchains. Nobody owns the process of these transactions. Anybody can build a like way for you to purchase these things. So that way it's very decentralized, and when you own an NFT, when you own a piece of art, there's nobody who can come in and take it away from you tomorrow, because it's owned and you own it on a blockchain as well. So you own it in a digital a wallet that you own. So it's always going to be associated with the wallet, and it does not belong to any of the platform or providers. So that's what we spoke about in the Web3 video last week, where nobody owns these platforms. It's not that a big tech company owns this platform. These are a decentralized platform, so No matter which a wallet you want to have, these tokens are belonging to you on the blockchain, and nobody can take it away from you. Let me turn on the lights a bit because it's starting to get dark. And maybe it's time for another Betty Bots, another Bertie Bots, every flavor beans. Let's see, let's try another one. Oh, they actually have behind a thing of what are the different flavors in there. Let me try one and then we'll figure out which was it. So this is like a whitish one. So it's either a candy floss or it's earwax or soap. Great. So it's either it's either a candy floss or earwax or soap. So let's figure out which one is this. It's soap, guys. Oh, this one is horrible. It's soap. Nope, this one was not great. I'm gonna try another one. Which one is this? So this is the other one I'm gonna try. It's either earthworm, or a sausage, or vomit. Great. Earthworm, sausage, or wheat. None of them sound appealing, so I don't know which one to root for. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna have it. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, no, I don't even know what it is. I think it's sausage. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so not a good idea to do it on stream. Yuck. That one is horrible. I'm gonna wash it down with some coffee. Oh. All right, let's go. All right, I think that's clear about NFTs, so we know what it is. But let's quickly touch upon some of the bad things about NFTs, right? Which the Wikipedia article was also talking about, where it says that um, NFTs have seen some use as speculative security and a means of money laundering. NFTs have drawn criticism with respect to energy cost and carbon footprint. So let's start with the first one, where NFTs can be a really good medium for people to launder all the money. I think that's not something that's strictly related to NFTs itself. I think that's the problem with art also, right? Like people have been using art as a way to launder money, and if you're wondering how that happens, it's pretty simple and straightforward, and it comes from the fact that the value of an art can be anything, right? And that's the problem. Like a value of an art is determined by how much is somebody willing to pay for it, right? Like you have a piece of art, somebody says it's shit, that's worth $1. Somebody else comes in saying that wow, this art is the best, it's $1,000,000, right? So the range of the difference in the value of the art can be huge, and that's really easy for people who have a malicious intent, for them to like do stuff like this, right? And how do they do it is, for example, if I'm super rich, right, or you're like moderately rich as well, then I buy a piece of art for X price. So I buy it for let's say 100,000 euros, and then I go and sell it to somebody for much lesser than that. Like I go and I sell it to another entity, which is probably my own entity, but in an offshore account.
and I sell that art piece to someone else for very low value. I sell them the art piece for 100 euros, and I write off 100,000 as a loss, saying that hey, I bought this artwork for 100,000 euros, and now I could only sell it for 100 euros, so that's a loss that I made. But did you really make a loss? Because you just sold that 100,000 your worth of art piece to someone else, which is actually you, which is your own, your sort of your pseudo account. So you still own that piece of art, just in the name of a different entity. So you still hold that asset. You still hold that a value. Just you no longer hold it on your paper. So that's a very easy way for you to launder your money, right? So that's like one your way of doing it. The other way of doing it is that you have your other entity, you have this offshore entity of yours sell you an art piece, right? So if you have lots of money which you want to transfer to a third party, you cannot just do it by sending them the money, right? If you have, let's say you have a Swiss account, or you have a Panama account where you have a shell company, which is a fake entity that exists, and you now need to transfer 100,000 a euro to your shell account in like in Panama. Now you cannot just transfer the money, because then people will be able to just sort of trace it back and be like, hey, why are you paying this your shell account 100,000 euros? What is the purpose of the 100,000 euros? Who is this other entity? But if you just say that, hey, this account in your or entity in like Panama is an art dealer, and he's selling me this piece of art for 100,000 euros, right? And that art could be anything. It could be just a blank, or like a canvas with a scratch on it. But if you are like, hey, it's art for me, and I believe that art is worth 100,000 euros, you've just purchased this art piece from like one of your own entities, and you're able to now to justify the transaction of 100,000 euros to this offshore account, under the guise of you purchasing art. And this happens much more commonly than you think. Every time you see an artwork and you're like, whoa, what the hell? What is the reason why people are paying so much money for that very simple looking piece of art? Uh, Not all the time, but like a lot of the time, it's because that's a way for people to launder your money, because that's a way for people to send their money offshore in a semi legal way. So that happens with actual art. And what NFTs have done is they've made it more accessible and more simpler, right? So the example that I gave you of an offshore account of yours being able to sell you like an art piece, and you having a way for you to send money, that is now possible even more simply with an NFT, where you can just be like, hey, I bought this digital image. So it's not even a painting, it's not even a physical artwork anymore. You can just say, hey, I bought this image of a monkey which I think is worth $1 million, right? And there's no one to able to prove that value of that image is not $1 million, because art, right? Art is just your subjective, and all of this can happen online through a platform. You'd never have to step into a bank. You never have to do any of this. All of this can happen in a very accessible way. So that's the con of it. Like, that's the flip side of NFTs, where people who already had a malicious intent of like laundering their money, now it's even more easier for them. And this is a problem that we also spoke about in the last time during the Web3 a chat, that's the problem with a blockchain. Also, that's the problem with a DeFi, where you have decentralized finance, where you have these digital currencies, where you don't have a bank that is a centralized authority looking over all of your transaction. It is a boon for people who have a malicious intent, and they are going to do their best to exploit all of these things. So there is a dark side to it, but like we said, let's hope, like the internet, the amount of your dark stuff you can do on this technology is less, and the overall impact of this technology and the overall impact of NFTs still is a net, I would say, a positive. So that's the optimism with which I am you're looking at it, and that's what I'm going into this with. The other aspect of it, which is the energy, a cost, and carbon footprint, that's also like a valid, I think, a criticism of this. It mainly stems from the fact that to your mint these things and to do these transactions on the on like blockchain, there is a need for people to be running servers in order to do the processing of these transaction. So without going into too much technical details, the way this transaction happen is that somebody needs to solve a cryptographic or a code, and the way to solve that code, and after you solve that code is only when can you make a change in the ledger. And as of now, the amount of your processing a power that is required to solve these cryptographic codes is very high, and because of that, the amount of your servers being used to do this is adding to more energy costs. Like these are big server farms that are running to do these things, which is a big a drain on energy. And because of that, the carbon of your footprints of these digital transactions is very high, because the processing power that they are able to sort of draw is also very high. So that's a con of it. When this is something I think the blockchain community is very aware of, and I know everybody is trying to work on a solution. So there are already sort of new technologies, new sort of blockchains that offer a more a sustainable way to do this a transaction. I know Solana is one, so that's an alternative to Ethereum. So Ethereum is the most commonly used technology and a currency to like purchase NFTs, but your Solana is now emerging as a good alternative to it, where the transactions on Solana are more energy efficient. I don't know how exactly. I've not really dug into the details of it, but I think that you're changing what is required in order for you to authenticate a transaction. But yeah, there are. So this is a problem, but this is a problem that people in the community are aware of, and they're already are working towards solutions. So also for Ethereum, there is a second a version of the Ethereum that is being worked on, which is also supposed to be more energy efficient. All right, let's just quickly go through this article before we do some more digging of NFTs ourselves. Um, the description and this is a nice. An NFT is a unit of data stored on a digital letter called a blockchain, which can be sold or traded. And this is very similar to what we wrote, right? Digital file. Yeah. Let me write this one there as well. Or where is this from? Prospecting non-fungible tokens. All right. Technology and application. Digital art was early use case of NFTs. List of most expensive tokens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of this, where the first big thing was like this artist called Beeple, who sold his art for $69.3 million. That's crazy. Yeah, see some huge transaction happening, games, music, films. Number of internet memes, yeah, it's also a thing. Ethereum, Solana blockchain also early history. Hmm. Okay. All right. I think good enough research on this. I just want to see a list of most expensive non-fungible tokens that have been ever sold. Park. So he's Murad Park, also known as Park, is a designer technologist programmer. Oh, I have not heard of Park. I thought Pure People was the so. This a Park has sold artwork worth of $356 million. That's crazy. But he has sold a lot. He has sold like 66,000 of it. That's crazy. So it's huge quantity. So the average sale value is low, but he has made the most money. He has made like 356,000, and his highest sale was 91 million. That's crazy. Second is Beeple, 175 million. It's crazy. So these guys literally became like millionaire over a span of like last couple of years, and like crazy. So yeah, this so the merge is what was sold 91.8. Park most. I want to see what this merge looks like, dude. The merge. Uh, Parks NFT artwork. The merge. Is this it? Is this the merge? Yeah, looks like this is the merge. Damn, this is somebody bought this for $91 million. Holy shit! Oh, with 28,983 characters. Oh, so he sold a bunch of them. Okay, but that's crazy. So the auction a record for single artwork sold publicly by a living artist. That's crazy. Fuck. Damn, this is at least tell me it's a GIF or something where it does more stuff. No, so it just does this. Fascinating, right? It's like how the merge, board duration, park the grid operation returns with a new mechanism acquire as many mass units. Damn, still going on. Yes, this is what I think was sold. This is crazy. All right. So yeah, art is yeah. This is what NFTs are. Now I want to dig into what makes a good NFT, right? Like, let's look at some of the big ones. I actually want to show you the Beeple art piece, which is this one. This is the one that sold for 69 million. It's basically a collection of all of his artwork that he did over 5,000 days. So this guy used to make an artwork every day. For 5,000 days, he made art pieces. Started becoming popular over time as each of the art pieces started becoming popular. And then he made one big ass picture with all of the art pieces in one, and then that's the one that sold for incredibly a high price. It's owned by this guy. That's oh, I didn't know they revealed who the owner was Vignesh Sundaresan, Meta Kovan. Who is this guy who paid for this? Who is Vignesh? Indian born blockchain entrepreneur also goes by crypto. Grab the spotlight. So this dude bought it. Who is this guy? Sundaresan is a programmer based in Singapore. Ah. To show Indians and people of a color that they too could be patrons of arts. Interesting. Interesting. His family in Chennai wanted him to table show. Went to Dubai. Stumbled upon bitcoins. I think he bought a bunch of bitcoins very early on. Fascinating. I didn't know that it was this dude's name was out who bought it. But yeah, this is a Beeple. His artwork is very unique. Is a good way to put it. It's very, yeah. Um, I don't know. Let me just show you his artwork. Beeple. Every day. So these are the ones. So he makes one art every day, and he has been doing it for 5,374 days. So these pictures are all done from start to finish every day. The purpose of this project is to help me get better at different things by posting the results online. I'm less likely to throw down a big pile of ash shit, even though most of the time I still do because I'm currently on my 14th round of every days. This year, I'll be doing a render every day using Cinema 4D and mostly Octane. Instead of trying to learn new software, we'll be focusing on some of the more fundamental like color combination. Okay. So this guy has been making an art piece every day, and this is how it started, right? He started with drawing art pieces. That's crazy. So the first year, this guy was just drawing these things by hand, and he just drew. He just made a piece of art every day, and then this is fascinating. This is new to me as well. And then he went to Cinema 4D, where he just started making these artwork which are digital. Crazy. So I think this is one of the things that make an NFT a good NFT if there is a history behind it, right? Like there is this story that this dude he just made artwork every day for the last 5,000 days, right? So I think that's a good story. That's something that people can talk about. So I think that is very important. Um, a good story or history behind it. Yeah, it's fascinating to see how his art evolved. So Cinema 4D. So in round four, he went with photography instead of digital art. So he just started taking photos. It's fun. And then Cinema 4D, Cinema 4D. So then he just kept focusing on Cinema 4D. This is what he did last year. So last year, yeah, this was what his artwork was like last year. Very weird art style, the kind of stuff he was making. Elon Musk. Yeah, it's very weird kind of art style. But yeah, it's it's something. There's something there. End game. 6 Jan 21. That's interesting. This is actually a really good artwork. Actually, dance Wookiee Island, reset button, space exploration, a Christmas miracle. Santa came early. This is nice. Uh, yeah. So yeah, he makes these artwork. He makes one every day. So he's a great artist now. So of course he has made a life for himself because of this. But yeah, but he does a bunch of other stuff. So I think that story and history is important, but also yeah, the artwork itself needs to be fascinating. So some of the examples that we saw, they are pretty fascinating, piece of art which things that people would like to own and people would like to signal something with that. I think his signal is that a rebellious one. So I think that's a signal that a lot of people also want to give off. I think that is something that really adds, to his thing. Let's look at some of the other popular NFTs. The ones that I know off the top of my head are CryptoPunks. So we'll learn more about CryptoPunks, what makes them big. Board Ape Yacht Club, that's another one. What else am I missing? Let's start with these two and then we'll see. I'm pretty sure there will be more introduced. CryptoPunks. Where is the Larva Labs? Is that what they were called? CryptoPunks. So it's a 10,000 unique collectible characters with proof of ownership stored on Ethereum blockchain, the project that inspired the modern crypto art movement. So I think this was one of like the earliest these NFTs as a collection. So I think when NFTs first started to boom, they were like these individual art pieces, like ones you saw from from like people. Um, and then people were selling stuff like like Nyan Cat. A GIF became a big thing, so people started to purchase that. So, but they were all like this, like one piece of art that people were buying. But with a CryptoPunks, which was one of the earliest NFTs, they started making these things, which is basically it's a collection where they follow a similar a template and they change a few things. So you basically can do it programmatically, right? So for example, they have your 10,000 sort of all unique all characters. That doesn't mean each of this a character is being drawn individually by somebody. That's not true. It's basically they are able to do it programmatically, where they just set some your dimensions, and then they're able to use that to generate a collection. So that's sort of, I think, also the appeal of it, saying that okay, it's computer generated, so they are randomized. They are you get weird outcomes. So I think that sort of is also that's something that also adds to the appeal of it. The CryptoPunks are 100 uniquely generated characters, no two are exactly alike. Each one of them can be officially owned by a single person on Ethereum blockchain. Originally, they could be claimed for free by anybody. This is fascinating, right? So originally, they could be claimed for free by anybody with an Ethereum wallet, but the 10,000 were quickly claimed. So when these things launched, they were free. Like anybody could get one for free, and now they are all sold, and now they must be purchased from someone or via a marketplace that's also embedded in the blockchain. Via this market, you can buy, bid, and offer punks for sale. Below, you'll find information on status of each punk in the market. Punks with blue background are not for sale and have no current bids. Punks with red backgrounds are available for sale by the owner. Finally, punks with purple background have an active bid on them. Interesting. So these are all the punks. Crazy. So these are all the punks, and you can actually see which ones are for sale, which ones are not for sale. So you can still buy them, but they're expensive. Overall sale, current lowest punk available. So the lowest is 62.5 ETH. which is 62.2.5 Ethereum. So that's like crazy. So it says 200,000 US dollars is the lowest option. So it goes pretty high from that, and it's selling. They sold 12,000 in the last 12 months. Oh, this is crazy. All punk owners. I want to see this. All punk types. Largest sale. So this is the biggest punk that was sold for $7.58 million. Somebody bought this image for $7.58 million. This image, which I can right click and save image as. Somebody paid for it. I have this same image with me on my computer, but that's the difference. I cannot claim ownership of this. There's no way for me to prove that I bought the original CryptoPunk, right? I can use this image wherever without any illegal repercussions. I can set it as a profile picture, whatnot, but I will never be able to, like boast that, hey, I own a piece of image that's worth $7.58 million, because people will be able to verify very quickly that I don't own it. Somebody who bought this, whose your transaction is being recorded in the blockchain, they own it. And it's very, see, this is what I mean by a ledger. This is actually a very good example. So you can see from the beginning of time who owned it, right? So somebody claimed it in 2017. Then people have been, sort of being, so these are all the bids. And then here it was, sold from stray bid to this person. Then there was, like bids on it. And this person bought it for like $2,000. And there have been bids on it. And then and you can see the bid amount keep on increasing, right? And this guy was like, you're holding it for the longest time possible. And you can see how the bid amounts kept increasing. 700, 800,000, 1.8 million. So this guy had the nerve to still hold on to it despite these monstrous bid, before finally selling it for 7.58 million to this person. So right, so we don't know who this person is. It's probably anonymous. And then there is still been bids, but nobody has your purchase rate. It has been offered. So people have been offering 100 million for this. But yeah, this guy hasn't sold to anyone yet. And it's owned by an address. So that's one of the things about buying NFTs, is you can buy it anonymously. So you don't so nobody ever has to know that you own it. So this guy, nobody knows who this person is. But this address is what owns the CryptoPunk. Fascinating. Recent transaction. These are for sale. So if you guys want to buy CryptoPunk, you can buy it. It's a lot of money. The lowest punk is 62.5 ETH, 200,000. I don't have that kind of money, but if someone has that kind of money, they can still buy it. Crazy. Yeah. So all CryptoPunk owners. So damn, this one guy owns like 400 of them. This guy owns 353 of them. So there are people who are like holding on to these CryptoPunks as well. Damn. Gary V owns 60 of them. Crazy. A lot of these people own. This guy owns 50 of them. Damn. Yeah, you can see it's 10,000 of them. People own it, and you can see everybody who owns it right out here in the ledger. So nobody can sort of bullshit you, saying that they also own a CryptoPunk. You can be like, okay, I need proof, and then this is how they can prove it, saying that, hey, see, this is my ETH, this is my like address, and I own it. So that's a way for them to prove it, that they actually own this. But yeah, like as you can see, like a lot of people, they do choose to be anonymous as well, or they have a pseudonym where they don't openly claim that your who they are, but you can still see people who own it. Oh yeah, so this is how they make it. So there are, oh, see, fascinating, right? So they have, so these are all the variables in a punk. So you have alien, ape, zombie, female, and male. So these are like the four different bases that punks can have. So these are all alien type, these are all ape type, these are all zombie types, female and male. Fascinating. And then these are the attributes that can change. So they can either have a beanie, or they can have a choker, they can have a pilot helmet. Of course, they can have combination of these things as well. So that's the fascinating. So these are all the things that are variables on it, and that's what will change. So that's how your 10,000 of them are jobs of like made, because they just make these components, and then these components are variably added so that you can actually have 10,000 unique CryptoPunks that are generated. And oh, this is fascinating. So you can choose how many attributes are on them. They can have one attribute, they can have seven attributes. So there's only one punk that has seven attributes. That's fascinating. I'm pretty sure this guy is pretty expensive. So you can actually pick how many attributes they have. So no attributes is just a bald person, because they have none of these attributes added to them. And then depending on what attributes get added, they go on. I want to see this seven attributes punk. It's fascinating. Somebody bid 171 million for this one, but it's not been sold. So whoever acclaimed it has still, oh, they sold it for $456. Damn, so he bought it in June for free, and he sold it for $456. Must be regretting it now. And yeah, it's not been sold. Oh, then he sold it again. So he sold it to someone else for $4,000, and he thought, hey, I'm making a 10x jump on my purchase. And then then it again got sold for 18,000. Then there was a transfer, means this person gave it to this person without selling it. Wonder what happened there. And yeah, then it's been with this person since then. This is a really cool CryptoPunk actually. So yeah, so it's because it has all of these attributes. So yeah, it's like one of one with that many. So this is only one that has all of this. So that's CryptoPunk. Let's go to the next one, which is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. This was another one that blew up. I was actually aware of this when it came out, but I just was very new to NFTs, so I just didn't know what to think of it. But yeah, Bored Ape Yacht Club. So this was the first NFT that actually introduced me to this other aspect of NFTs, which said that in addition to just owning these NFTs, which are just owning these images, there will be exclusive stuff that will be attached to ownership of these NFTs. And I think that is for me when this whole NFT things actually started to get very interesting, because what they started to say was that if you own this piece of NFT, this piece of art, that will get you access to events, to things. So that was the concept of the Bored Ape of the Yacht Club, where they say that this is not just an image that you own. This is like a membership to a club, and they say this is a elite. This is like a club of people who believe in NFTs, who believe in your future of NFTs, and by purchasing this image, you now get to be a part of this club, and this club will have your perks. And it was undefined at the time of launch what these perks will be, but then people were they like brought into they are bought into the idea that if the people who are actually going to be a part of this club are going to be this very influential rich people, then it is a club you're worth being a part of. So I think that's the first time where I saw that NFTs actually can also operate as this exclusive pass, right? It's like you are a member of this exclusive club, and that unlocks for you your perks, and it can be any kind of perks. It can be entry into some your like club, entry into a lounge. It can be you can you're sort of off your redeem this a perk to your purchase like some other bunch of NFTs, or you can or you get to participate in an auction that happens. There can be so many different perks that can actually be attributed to it. So I think that way this was a very fascinating aspect where people can actually unlock uh, other your real world sort of perks by ownership of a digital token. So it was a limited NFT collection where a token itself doubles as your a membership to a swamp club for apes. The club is open, ape with us. So pretty simple definition. How do you enter it? Yeah, so this is what the apes look like. Um, they also follow a very similar structure to the CryptoPunks, but it's a bit more complicated. Of course, so like CryptoPunks were following like a pixel art kind of an approach. So the art itself was very simple. This is a similar idea. So they also have like the base attributes, and then they have different attributes that you can add to it. And because of that, you get all of these different kinds of like apes that you can then mint and own. BAYC is a collection of 1,000 bored apes. Uh, like bored ape NFTs or unique digital collectibles living on the Ethereum blockchain. Your bored ape doubles as your a yard club a membership, and a grants access to members only benefits. Right, so that's fascinating. The first of which is access to the bathroom, a collaborative graffiti board. Future areas and perks can be unlocked by community through a roadmap activation. So that's fascinating. So they are like, this is the first thing you get. So I think they're making an artwork together, which they'll probably sell for another lots of money, and everybody who contributed to that artwork gets more money. There are no bonding curves here. Buy a board ape costs 0.08 ETH. Funny, right? So this is what it cost at the time of purchase. There are no price tiers, so all of the apes were sold at the same price. BAYC a membership costs the same for everyone, so everybody could buy the same thing. It's fascinating. Note: 30 apes are being withheld from sale. These will be used for giveaways, puzzle rewards, and for creators BAYC membership. Each board ape is unique and programmatically generated from over 170 possible traits. Fascinating, right? So how CryptoPunks had like about 15, these guys have over 160 possible traits, including expression, headwear, clothing, and more. All apes are dope, but some are rarer than others. The apes are stored as ERC-721 tokens on Ethereum blockchain and hosted on IPFS. Purchasing an ape costs 0.08 ETH. To access to remember only areas such as the bathroom, ape holders will need to be signed in to their MetaMask wallet. So I possibly cannot enter the bathroom. Welcome to the club. 10,000 probably rare board ape tokens. There's a fire launch, bathroom, gain additional benefits through roadmap activations. We are in this long haul. We have set goalposts for ourselves once we hit targets. Oh, this they was doing this where they hit certain amounts, they will do things. So these are the people who are founders of it. Yeah. So this is basically what the Bored Ape Yacht Club was. Let's see how much are these bored apes for now. The initial sale has sold out. Check out Bored Apes. So here is where Bored Apes are, and 83.3 Ethereum is the floor price. So that's the range that we're looking for where we can purchase it. So these are what Bored Apes look like. Um, I think I like this kind of artwork. So I think that's a term that goes around a lot in the NFT world that I've seen being used is vibe. They say, "Hey, this is a vibe." So I think that's the other thing to look for, and understanding what makes a good NFT is a vibe, which I think is Web3 equivalent of a taste, right? So like how for like physical artwork, people are like, hey, you need to have a certain taste. Like this, there is like, so for people who prefer impressionism, or like, or people who prefer different styles of art, they will say, hey, like there is a or I think that's more referred to like the art c- c- collectors, right? So like some people will be like, I like this sort of your collector's taste. So I like the kind of art that he likes. I think the equivalent for that in NFT world is like vibe, because when people will come across a collection, they'll be like, I like the vibe of this collection. I like how it makes me feel, right? Which is what the art is all about, and that is something that people used to often talk about with the Bored Ape like yacht club, that there is a vibe to it which people like it's a goofy looking ape thing, and people are like, yeah, I like the vibe of it, like I like the artwork, I like the art style, I like the attributes, and these are the kind of things that I would like to be invested in. But as you can see, these are incredibly expensive, so we are not gonna buy a Bored Ape. So let's see which Ethereum, which artwork we can buy. Um, let's set a budget of, I'm gonna say I'm okay to spend up to 200 euros, whatever is the equivalent of that on ETH that I'll buy. Let's see what is the euro to ETH. 200, 0.06 ETH, right? So that's my budget. That's what I can buy. I will also be open to look at Solana art pieces, because apparently Solana is also a nice. But is there a marketplace for Solana NFTs? Discover, collect Solana art. Okay, so we're gonna look at OpenSea and we're gonna look at Solana art, and we'll see if there is some art that catches our fancy and we think we might be open to investing in. So OpenSea is a marketplace where you can buy art as well. So I'm just gonna explore and we'll see what kind of NFTs are there, what kind of like vibe is there. But yeah, we're not obligated to purchase anything, of course. So if I like something and if it's within the budget, then we'll go through the process of buying it. But these all seem super expensive. Hey, this is something that we can afford. 0.039 ETH. Uh, this is, yeah, see, 0.019. So there are affordable ones as well. Oil painting. These are bad. Bad. Nah. What else is there? Young ape. You come across stuff like this and you're like, is it gonna become a big thing? And then yeah, sometimes they do. So I've been coming across stuff like this for a while, and yeah, sometimes they just become big. This one I know is a big one as well. A Sad Girls Bar. It's also a collection of these kind of NFTs. And so that also is pretty popular. But yeah, I don't think I can afford any of those. So let's set a max of 250 USD here. And we'll see what we can get for that. Burger Flippers, the War Apes. So as you can see, everybody is now attempting to mimic the success of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which we just saw, and the CryptoPunk. So they're actually making similar arts in hope of that becoming a thing. But for all we know, that's not gonna happen, right? Like people will, yeah, like you need to come up with something that has its own unique vibe. So yeah, I'm not very confident about stuff like the War Ape, like stuff like that, because they just feel like a Me Too thing. And with art, people like to be unique, and so it's very hard to repeat what's already been done. Yeah, I want to see if there's some like original artist. So there is one artist that I really really like. Let's see if he has some artwork that I can buy. So there's another app called Foundation, which is also very nice. So, but the artist I'm talking about is called Amrit Pal Singh. This guy, he makes these thing called the toy faces, where it's basically this very unique art style which looks like a like a plastic toy. So it's like a Lego looking toy. So I really like his art style. I really like the vibe of such art. So I think this is something I really like. So I would at some point, sometime, wanna own one of the toy faces, and they're not super expensive. At least for now. So you can see these have been sold for like 1 ETH, 3 ETH. So it's still pretty expensive. Because yeah, it's like still significant amount of money. Um, but I like it, and I think this artist is somebody who can become big because he has this very unique art style that I don't think anybody else has. So he has also sold some big ones. He sold this for 8 ETH and 7 ETH. So he has sold quite a lot. This one has sold for 30 ETH. So he does make big sales as well, but he also usually has things that are more affordable. Um, Toy faces are diverse. He has sold over 160 plus. So he has sold quite a few. I'm gonna see if there's any affordable ones. Dead Fella Toy Face, buy now, 0.35. It's out of my budget right now. Ninja Toy Faces, 0.3. This is also out of my budget. Um, let's see if he has anything in Super Rare, which is also another NFT marketplace. So that's one of the things that there are like a lot of marketplaces now that are available. I'm just gonna see if he has like a single OpenSea link. No, I can't find. So I have to go individually to all of them. Foundation and Super Rare. He also made this thing called the Toy Rooms. Not a big fan of that. This was also a pretty good NFT project. Yeah, he also does a commission art pieces. So yeah, if someday I can afford it, I'll probably want to do a commission uh, piece with him. But yeah, we were trying to see if he has anything. So this was the toy rooms. So here, does he have anything for sale right now? I don't think so. But yeah, I think you get my vibe. Like this is the kind of thing I like, and I would be open to owning stuff like this digitally. Because if this artist becomes huge, right? If he becomes a big thing in a couple of years, then these things can appraise a lot, and it's such a like a unique vibe to it, and it's very different from what everyone else is trying to do. Like we saw in OpenSea. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. This was the Sad Girls Bar, which is also a nice style of art. So we saw these, that there was one of the affordables. But yeah, I'm gonna see what else can I actually afford, and if I will see something catches my fancy, we might buy it, or we might not. I don't want to be forced into buying something and spending money on something I don't like. So let's just scroll through um, and see if we find something. If we don't find something, that's also totally fine. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through the process of how This look, or if we find something very cheap, I'm probably gonna buy it just to show you how the process is. Ultra punks. Let me actually go to foundation. So foundation is this other art place, but the thing is, it's a curated one, so not everybody can be a part of it. So it's very like limited as to who can actually sell here. So they actually pick their artists. So maybe this is a better thing. Let me just explore here. Trending. Maybe I shouldn't look at trending because those will be expensive, or would they be? 30 ETH. I don't have 30 ETH. Why can't I want to put a cap on money. I want to be like, show me cheap ones. So yeah, here. Price range. So what was it? 0.0. What was it? 0.068. So 0.07. We are feeling a little generous today. So yeah, 0.0012, 0.07. Show me what you got. Nothing. Are you serious? There's nothing less than 0.07 ETH in foundation. So not the right place to look for. Let's look at super rare, which is another market. But I can't filter. Lowest price. That's not a good way to filter. How much are these things? Show me the price. Oh, 0.0, 0.1, 0.1. Alright, I think OpenSea is the place for us. Not these other platforms. Spirit Man. So what are we looking for? We're looking for these two attributes of what makes a good NFT. So a good story history and a good vibe. I think that's enough for us. Why did I open those things right now? Why are they open in the first place? Cool. Rebel rabbits. Nah, nothing fascinating so far. I can also Google for what NFTs to buy and stuff, but I'm pretty sure like if there is any article or anything out there, people have already purchased those NFTs by now. But yeah, I'm not sure if this is the right way to purchase NFTs, just scrolling through and finding something. Ultra punks. Fat penguins. Billionaire NFT club. Yeah. I think I want to do more research before I buy anything here. Gosh, yeah. I don't like I don't find anything that's like, oh, that's a cool artwork. Um, but yeah, at the same, I like the Spirit Man a bit. It's popping up. Maybe there is something there. I can check it out. But yeah, everything else is meh, not very great. So the interesting thing is, how do you become an insider? Like, I think NFTs are worth it, or at least for the kind of like money I have. NFTs are worth it if I'm able to get into a project that I think is gonna become big early. I don't think for me spending lots of money on something that I have no idea about is wise. I'm not gonna just spend money on some NFT project that I see here. Uh, yeah, because that's like just throwing money and hoping something happens. Um, I can imagine how people with a lot more disposable income might want to do it. They might just want to buy stuff, buy a whole bunch of stuff, and see which one picks up. But I don't have the liberty of too much disposable income, so I'm gonna keep it chill. So we're just gonna explore projects, and if we do find something that we really find fascinating, and if it's within the 200 euro budget, we will purchase it. That said, I do already own some NFTs. If you guys are interested, I can show you. How do I show people my NFT collection? There's a way to do it. I forgot. Um, there's a website that you can just I can just enter my ENS and you can see what NFTs I own. There was this guy who had made a way to do that. Let me find that. Traf. So this guy is pretty active on thing. Thank you, Traf. Very cool. He's starting something called Anti Collective. So we'll see what that is. Just launched Anti Collective NFT. 420 total supply, only 50 left unclaimed. Holders get access to join our Discord and exclusive drop. Drop your NFT if you're feeling lucky. So he did this yesterday. I'm gonna drop my ENS address. So ENS is like your address. So for example, I own mahadevan.eth. So I don't have to give people like a wallet address, which is like a long ass thing. I just have to ask them to send me stuff to this, and I get it. So, but yeah, a lot of people have entered their ETH, so I don't think I have a big chance. But he's saying you can purchase an access card and you can be a part of anti-collective NFT. Anti is a secret society. Yeah. Anti is a secret society of 370 makers and misfits sharing high signal memes and a market insights on all things crypto. We share the vibes, talk JPEGs, CGM, and collectively bring our ideas to life. There's a hard cap at 420 members, 50 spots left. Join by purchasing an anti-access cards. See, so this is fascinating. So this guy is someone who's very active on the NFT thing. So he's saying that I'm making this exclusive club that you can be a part of, and for that you need this access card. It's 0.575 ETH is what this card is for. Do I spend $2,000 on this? Yes or no? That's the question. Because this dude has bought it. Jack Butcher, who is like a very popular creator. So he's in there. So I get to be a part of a Discord where there are some pretty popular influencers in the NFT community in there, which could be a good thing. Holy shit, its current price 10,000, 10 ETH. But then I saw it for lesser now. Sale ends February 16th. Is it one of those things where if I say buy now, it's just gonna shoot up by a lot more? Yeah, I'm just gonna log in. I'm not gonna stream my login. So let me just use. Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to log in. I just want to check if my wallet with this app is the same as what it is here. Oh yeah, it's the same one. That's fine. I don't have a lot of money in there. Buy Yeah, I'm really conflicted because I'm able to purchase this now for lesser. Mhm. It is a risk, but it seems worth the risk because I like this guy. I like the kind of art he makes. So I'm thinking, and it's just got launched yesterday. Um, yeah, let's. How do I? Let's go here. Buy. I can buy it in. All right. Just so you guys know, I'm trying to transfer some ETH because I think I'm going to buy this access card to this club, uh, and see if that was a good decision or not afterwards. Uh, Verification code. Um, and I'm doing all of this off the stream because I don't want you guys to see my, yeah, like my wallet and stuff. So hope you understand. But stay tuned. I'll come back to the stream once I have put some money in it, and then we can see if I can make this purchase. Okay, let's go back to this. added. Let's see. Buy now. Confirm checkout. So here's what I've been doing, guys. I've been buying this. So what I'm buying is an access card, which is an NFT. So it's similar to the Board Ape Yacht Club, where I am buying this uh, it's called anti-access card, which gives me access to this club, which is the like a Discord, a channel that actually can that yeah, it's basically this. So it gives me access to a Discord, which is like a thing where I actually have access to 370 makers and misfits who are gonna share high signal memes and a market insights on all things crypto. So basically, I'm buying um, a pass into it. It's expensive. We started with a 250 euro budget, but I'm now spending close to $2,000 on this. So I'm not sure if this was a wise thing to do, if this was a good investment or not. Time will tell. But yeah, I do like the person who's behind it, whose name is like Traf. He does a lot of interesting stuff. I like his design style, and also the fact that Jack Butcher has bought into it. Those were the positive signals for me. Damn, I just purchased it. So you just purchased an anti-access card. It's been confirmed on the blockchain. Um, so I own this now, and now that I own this, I should be able to join the Discord chan server that these guys are talking about. Yeah, was that a smart move? I don't know, but I bought it, and we'll see, right? So you sort of saw it here first. Me purchasing NFT. This is what the process looks like. I didn't show you the process because I'm not sure how much of the wallet stuff I can show you. But yeah, maybe I can show you now. So the idea is that when you click on a buy now, you have to connect a wallet. So these are the different wallets that are available in the market. Of course, there's a lot more, but these are the ones that are supported on OpenSea. A wallet is basically a digital like wallet, where you actually can store your crypto like currencies. So I have a Coinbase and a MetaMask a wallet. So the interesting thing about a wallet is that it's not that your money is being stored with either of these platforms. So the wallet that I have with both of them are the same. They have the same address. It's just that I can access my like money through different sort of like wallets. And there are a few more that I have. They all have different UI to it, but it's just the UI, a layer on it that's different. But the underlying a wallet is still something that's on the blockchain that belongs to me. It does not belong to any of these platforms. So if tomorrow either of these companies like go under, my a wallet is still safe because that's on the blockchain, which is not owned by any of these people. These people are just a UI, a layer on top of the existing blockchain itself. So if you are interested in purchasing an NFT, this would be the way to do it. You have to open a wallet with either of these platforms. You need to approve the transactions. There's often a gas fee which you have to pay, which is like yeah, that's a whole different thread. But yeah, like a gas fee is like a fee you pay as a commission for people to do, who are doing the processing of it, and that's sort of is what we were talking about, the energy costs are being high. So when you're too many people are attempting to do a process at the same time, the gas fees are usually also significantly high. But yeah, that's insight into what yeah, purchasing an NFT is like. So now this thing is gonna be in my like wallet, and I want to now show what I actually wanted to show, which is also a project by the same guy who said that uh, who actually built a simple way to check your um, you can check the stuff that you own. What was it called? Was it value.app? Value.app. I think that was it. So basically, yeah. Oh, so now you can see what is my NFT portfolio worth. So you can see what all I own. So like I said, my ENS name, so mahadevan.eth. So that's my ENS name. So anybody can view what NFTs I own. So this is my way of ownership. So tomorrow if I claim, hey, I own this X piece of art, all of you can actually see what is it that I own. So you can see the value of all the NFTs I own currently adds up to 2,163. A big chunk of that is coming from owning this NFT, I think, which I just bought, which is the Anti Collective. And these are some of the other NFTs I own. So you can actually see what NFTs I own. So this is the one I just bought, which is this Access Pass that you just saw. So that's the one I just bought. Um, so yeah, so if this price increases, the value of my NFTs will increase. So I bought it with the hope that this will increase. It might not. That's a risk that I just took, and we'll see how that pays off. This one is, I think, the one that I made. So I did attempt to upload an NFT of my own to sell, and I said I will sell it for 1 ETH. Nobody bought it, of course, but that's there. Yeah, this is not displaying my NFTs very well. So yeah, this is the NFT that I made. I called it the Entitled Collection. Nobody bought it, so of course it has no floor price and therefore no value. Like more loot is an interesting like project that I was a part of. It's also very interesting like project. Um, yeah, why can't I see? This is also another thing I bought, where I bought an early access pass. So I have these 3 NFTs from. These are very cheap, so like 0.01 each, so not a lot of money. But then I bought these early access pass to this a blockchain app called Super Local. Um, so I have these 3 NFTs as well, which are in hindsight probably not a great purchase, but yeah, let's see how the price of that changes. Um, this is a free NFT I got because I have attempted to purchase things in the past, and because of that, every time I paid a gas fee, they have made a calculation for how much I should actually own as an NFT. So yeah, so right now the value of my NFTs are $2,000. So if I sell all of my NFTs right now, that's the amount I should get. We'll see if I actually get it or not. But yeah, this is a quick 101 of NFTs. We saw a bit about what NFTs are. We sort of explored what makes a good NFT, and we then bought an NFT, and I bought it mainly for the good history behind it, and a good story where it said where this is an exclusive a club and an access thing. I think that's for me the most fascinating aspect of NFTs, that you actually are buying access, and the vibe of that artist is something that I've been following for a while, and I really like it. So that's why I bought it. A lot more than the budget that I set up, 10 times more. But yeah, stay tuned to see how that pays off for me in the future. Because I believe that even if it does not pay off in your financial value, I feel that being a part of such a club where these people are talking about what's the next big thing in a crypto, I think just being a part of that club itself would be so much of educational value that it might be worth it. I might be wrong, but we'll see, and a time will tell. So that's it for today's, I think, stream. I hope you guys were able to follow and it was helpful. I see that light is very dark in my room now, so I should probably fix that next time. I'm gonna make sure there's better sort of light. I think this is maybe the longest stream I also did, almost nearly 2 hours. So it's never gotten so dark before. But yeah, uh, uh, so thank you for everybody who tuned in. I hope this was somewhat educational. I'm sorry, I got a bit lost when I was making the purchase, so there was a pure like moment of awkward silence in there. But yeah, please give me a feedback on how you're finding these sessions. What I want to do in the next episode is to make a collection ourselves, because when I was taking a look at all these NFTs and all these attributes, I feel like this will be something very fun to take a crack at ourselves and see what we can make together. So I think that's what I want to do in the next your session, is attempt to make a collection of NFTs ourselves. We'll sort of often define the main, like a character will define the attributes that the characters can have, and we'll attempt to make a collection of NFTs together, and we'll see how the how like the how accessible the process is, how easy it is for me to make these NFTs, and how easy it is for me to put them up for sale. So we'll explore all of that together the next time we do live stream. I am going away for a couple of weeks. I will be in Florida next week, so I'll see how I can still do a stream from there, because I don't want to break a streak. But it might be a bit tricky the next week, but I'll keep you guys posted on how that happens. Until then, I wish you all a good a week ahead, and thanks a lot for tuning in, and peace.